be able to open the shells. And what they do is they take their stomach it comes out of here, and they withdraw it on the outside of their body, they eat and digest on the outside, and then when they're done, they pull their stomach back inside.
Look at that too.
Look at the starfish.
And they do eat one another. So if they get hungry enough, they can attack each other. And small anemones and things like that as well.
I like the abalone.
What do you think?
Is that pretty cool?
See the seagulls flying in the circles.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
I know, but look at it. It's kind of common. The seals pick up all the things from the tide pool there.
Has anybody been here before, other than today? Oh, cool. All right. So before we go inside, kind of how the place was built. This building that we're going to enter, it's actually not a building. This is a very old glass-bottom barge, and it was brought up on land in 1983. Everything was built around it, so that's pretty cool. This is one of 4 environments that you're going to get to see from underwater, but we'll get to this in a minute. I have some sharks for you first, and one of them's cool. We managed to get our hands on a rare shark that normally lives a mile deep in the ocean and just happens to rank number 7 as one of the most dangerous sharks in the world. Ironically enough, we only got one accident, so we'll talk about it on the inside.
Let's follow that guy. Let's let the stroller guy go first. Okay. There we go. Will you help them guys get their stroller down?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch out, guys.
Yeah, when you get to the bottom, see some sharks on your left, and we'll meet you there. Somebody's making flat calls.
Go ahead, buddy.
The biggest shark that we have and the hardest to
It's
find.
right there. Is that him?
Nope, that is not a shark. He's in this environment. Here he comes. If you guys look, watch around the corner right here. He's right there.
There you go.
So he's 7 feet long, but they get up to 10 feet. Now there's a couple names for that type of shark. First, though, get a look at his nose, because that's going to tie into how we managed to get a hold of him. So it's called a cow shark, but most people have never heard of that before. Most of us know him as a 7-gill. Now, I mentioned that we got him on accident, right? You think of it this way. They live a mile deep in the ocean. You can't just catch one and reel him in. That pressure change can actually kill him. We are actually on a boat right off the shore of Arcata, about 80 miles south. He was actually in shallow water at the time, which is really odd. And you guys saw his nose, right?
No.
So the damage on there, what you see now is about 90% healed up compared to what it looked like when he arrived, or when we found him. All their navigational senses run through their nose. They don't see through their eyes, not like we do. So if the damage on the nose is enough, then he's blind. So that explains why he wasn't a mile deep. The reason why we brought him in is they use those same sensors to hunt and pinpoint their prey. He was so underweight and not fighting. He was starving. He probably wouldn't have lasted another 2 days out there. So we got an awesome rare shark out of it. He's guaranteed a meal when he needs it. So it worked out really good. Now, as far as petting sharks, there's a reason why we wanted to set this up. If you look at their skin, they've got this beautiful velvet look, right? Sharks don't have scales like a fish. As strange as this might sound, they're actually covered with millions of microscopic teeth. Identical to what's in their mouth. Same shape, has enamel, just smaller versions. Now, something interesting is way back when, dried shark skin was the world's very first original version of sandpaper. That's where the idea actually started. The only difference is you can only go one direction with shark skin because all those teeth face one away. Kind of cool, huh? And keep your eyes peeled too. Every now and then, if you look at these caves and stuff, you might see a tail poking out or looks like an animal's in there. We do have about 20 nocturnal sharks in here that only come out at night. So they're all kind of stuffed in there and hiding until nighttime. Kind of neat. Now I do have to introduce you guys to my kids. Alright, this is my baby girl Cora. Cora is 2 years old. That's our only sea lion at the moment. The other 2 are seals. So there's a huge difference between a seal and a sea lion, and that's one of the things that we'll go over at the end of the tour. Now, even though she's a California sea lion, she was not born in the U.S. She was born in Nuremberg, Germany, and we brought her over.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, that sound, by the way, is just the sound of the bubbles leaving her nose.
She's hitting the thing.
No, she's not even touching it. It's she's jerking her head forward to blow out the bubbles, but she does it so quickly it makes a boom.
Oh, okay.
See, the reason why she's doing it is actually kind of bad. By nature, sea lions are territorial. And if anybody gets too close to her bubble, that's a way of saying back off, this is my area. So she's being a naughty 2-year-old basically. Now the other two in there are seals. The black one is Scully, which is our male harbor seal. This white one is Marina, which is the female. Marina's an old girl. The average lifespan in the wild for these animals is 15 to 20 years. Marina's almost 34 this year. So the black one, Scully, he's 13, which is like a young adult. However, he's blind. He can't see. He gets around using his whiskers. So, very different. Now, at the end of the tour, I'm going to go out there and pour a little bit of fish, tell you some things about her, and a few things that she's learned in the year that she's been here. But until then, I don't want to tell you too much about them because we'll spend some time with them later. Just go ahead and go on. Alright. Now we have some pretty goofy fish over here. Most of the fish that are in this environment are rockfish. The silver ones are perch, but the rockfish are these darker ones.
How do you look?
And you actually caught them at a different time because we have our pumps off right now to focus all of our power on refilling this sea land pool. So when the pumps turn off and there's no circulation, the fish act different. To find out how often do rockfish move, because if they spend their life sitting really still, like you'll see a couple of them in there, they can't be moving too much. So a couple weeks of an observational study, and they were absolutely baffled by what they discovered, the results. The average movement for most rockfish was 3 to 7 feet a day. Sounds like my brother, actually. That was getting food away from predators. But here's why they were baffled. As little as they move, they live an average of 60 to 80 years doing that. They even found one in Alaska that was easily placed at 118. It's a long time to do nothing, huh? Apparently we have the secret to a long life all wrong. You know, you gotta sit still on the couch and watch TV to live 200.
There's a big crowd back there.
Now I have some rays and sturgeon I'd like to tell you about, but they're on the opposite side, so feel free to cruise down the windows. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to have a glass of wine, because wine was a symbol of wealth back then. Sure that it wasn't spiked with poison from the servant trying to assassinate him, so the king would always keep a shark tooth necklace tucked into his shirt, and when the servant would leave, he'd pull that out and he'd put the tooth in the wine. Now, if there was poison, it'd have to have acid in it. It would bubble or slightly change color if you knew not to drink it. So just throughout the years, that slowly became a symbol of wealth and vitality. Pretty cool, huh?
That's cool.
Yeah. So the kings started
The
that.
first time we came through here,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I didn't either. We had a little tidbit on tour, and I read a little blurb. I'm like, wow, that's gotta be like one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
Right on.
But yeah, it had to be an acid poison, like
Yeah, that's.
poison like arsenic. You know,
Yeah, yeah. That's cool though. Yeah, huh? No, I can smell it
I
too.
smelled it yesterday. The other day I went through the
Yeah. Ooh. Look, stingrays.
So the rays, these are called bat rays, and there's something about bat rays that's really odd.
Are you taking pictures? Okay.
I think that these are sharks.
The big black ones, those aren't. Those are fish. The little gray ones are sharks, but the big black ones are sturgeon.
Sturgeon. You go sturgeon fishing.
The biggest ones are right by you.
Look, he's gonna
6
fly.
feet long. That's her in the back. How old would you think that sturgeon is at 6 foot in length?
Mm-hmm.
She's between 50 and 60 years old. Now, that's nothing. That's very young, actually.
Yeah, look at
I went and
that.
dug around in some. Actually, before I even get to that.
Oh, look,
have
there's
any
one
of you ever
right
been
here.
to the Bonneville
Yeah,
Dam
there's the
in
big
the
one.
Columbia River. It's like 30 minutes east of Portland. If you're ever in the area, you have to go to the dam because it's a free fish hatchery. You can go and check out. I
Yeah.
took my son up there because we've been hearing
gonna
about
fly up
hermit
the wall.
sturgeon, a live sturgeon up there.
No,
Hermit
that's
is 10 feet long.
See, this is why we don't swim in the
450
ocean.
pounds, and 6 years old. It's right off the 82 or 84. 10 feet long, 450 pounds is still less than half the size of the biggest sturgeon in North America. Biggest one was a 25-foot fish, weighed in at 1,800 pounds, and was placed at 150 years old.
Two-eyed
That's
fish.
Loch Ness
It's a
Monster
sideways
material,
fish.
if you ask me.
Yeah, it has
Now we have a
only
very
two
awkward
eyes
fish in
on
here.
one side.
For those of you that
Two
like
eyes on
seafood,
one
you like
side.
eating halibut or
Over here, guys. There's the sharks.
Don't touch them. Don't put your hands in there yet.
I'm not. I won't. Do they have teeth?
Yeah, they have teeth.
Will they bite you?
That's real.
Yeah, I know.
Will they do this?
What?
Don't put your hands in the water. Do not touch the water.
Look till he gets here. Look at that.
Okay. You have to wait for him to get here.
Dimitri, go stand behind it.
And they get the name horn shark because you'll notice that she's got horns on her fins. Now, these guys will never bite, but it's up to us to make sure that we don't hurt or scare them. So there's two rules, easy but important. Rule number one is they do not like to be touched on their face or their head. Their eyes are there, they've got all those sensors, so it's an uncomfortable spot. And then, so don't touch the head. Rule number two is if they're swimming around, you can still pet them. However, they've got to be allowed to freely swim by you at all times, which means no grabbing and holding on to them. Just let them swim through your hand just like that, and that's it. If you have sleeves, it's deeper than it looks. You might want to give them to your elbows or they will get wet. Paper towels on both sides of the room. Go for it. Definitely pet both sharks. They feel completely different.
Remember, don't grab onto it. You can't touch its head.
Wait till his head passes by.
Hey, Dee, just stand right there.
Stand right there.
Apple. Is it soft?
Don't touch its head. Just wait till it comes around. And then touch its tail, okay?
I got it.
Here it comes. Dimitri, watch your hand.
Here, come over to Papa.
She's coming. She got
Papa,
her hand
will you
out.
help him?
Remember, weird. Back in its tail, not its head.
Hold on.
What is
Not its head. Oh, it's not getting close enough, sister.
Here, listen here.
I want to see.
Here.
Dimitri, that's a good.
Sissy's not tall enough. That's cool.
It's hard.
Why did it not get me?
Wait, and maybe it'll
What are the black things in the middle of the pool?
The eggs.
Not its head, not its head.
Those are eggs. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Husband's gonna hold him off.